Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 16. This is the last module for the class and it contains the final assignments for the class as well as the end of course survey. This will be open at the same time as Module 15. You can complete the assignments in any order. However, the assignment that you do in Module 15, there's a question about it in the final exam or final essay in Module 16. So you may want to complete them in the order of time here. Everything's due on Wednesday, so that's important to remember. There, we do not have an extra weekend for this module. Allen classes are done on Wednesday, December 10th, and there is not an option to extend time for those assignments. So make sure that you are paying attention. Finals in Iola, they end on Wednesday, and so that's when all of Allen classes ended. I will try to post multiple announcements as reminders, but just keep in mind that you do not have that extra day or extra weekend. So you have two assignments here to complete, the final reflection essay and then the final review quiz. There's some readings that you can do if you want to just go over everything that we've covered so far. These are all chapters that you have had quizzes over throughout the semester, and so those would be something that you may want to go back into the new Heart Brace Guide textbook just to do a little bit of review. Not required, but good idea. And then the final review quiz is 25 questions, and they are all questions that were in the pools for the quizzes throughout the semester. So you may get questions that you've had before. So hopefully you'll get at least a few that you had before, you know the answers to. But then you can definitely use your resources to look up answers for the rest of the questions. And if you have questions about that, let me know. And then the last assignment is to complete the final reflection essay. So this essay is just looking back over the semester, and I want you to write me a couple of paragraphs, at least 3, and just kind of think about, like, what did you do this semester? I do not want you to write this out in a bulleted list. I want it to be an actual essay. Most students write more than 3 paragraphs, but 3 is the minimum. So introduction, body, paragraph, conclusion. A lot of times students will kind of group questions together. So they'll write about, you know, what they improved on and what they need to work on together. And then they'll, you know, look back and see whether or not they met their goals, that kind of thing. And so you can kind of group the questions together as you go and decide, you know, this last one here, an important aspect of the class you use in the future. That feels like more like a conclusion question. So as long as you're answering all the questions and you put everything together in a readable way, that's really what I'm looking for in this assignment. I don't grade this one like I grade the other essays. You probably won't get feedback on this one other than just a general you know, comment on the whole thing, because this is right at the end of the semester, and obviously I need to get stuff graded for the to turn in your final grade. So just kind of keep that in mind, that this should be, you know, I'm looking for your own writing, but I'm also just looking for you to really reflect on the semester. That's what I'm asking for. And then the last thing that you can do is turn in this survey. Same questions as the midpoint survey, but you do get 5 points extra credit for it. And so that's an option right there at the end if you want to take it. So if you have questions throughout the next couple of weeks, please send me an email. We are right at the end of the semester. We're coming up on the last day to withdraw, and we're coming up on the last day to submit anything. So if you're struggling at all and you have questions, that sort of thing, make sure that you're reaching out, and have a great week.